Joining us here, well, let's just put him on before the radio audience joins. He's the head coach of Alabama football, Kalen DeBoer. Good to see you, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on today.
So just basically from what I can see here on the Zoom, is this your office that you're in right now, Coach?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Because much has been made, or at least it was over the summer, I'm sure you saw, right, about your renovation of the digs there. Coach, right? Did you see all that conversation about?
Oh yeah. I'm aware.
Okay.
And it was part of just a few things we did up here in the office area and the facility. So, but yeah, just updating a few things, sure. And it's been good.
You got rid of the wood paneling. I saw that you got rid of Coach Saban's wood paneling. And listen, this is your office, man. You don't have to. I just wonder who helped you with the renovation. Who helped you with that?
I'm not an interior designer, so
I'm sure.
Definitely had some help with that. I'll just stick to football.
Okay.
Okay. You can ask my wife the same thing when it comes to our house. So just I stay away.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you should see my studio right here. It's filled with all sorts of stuff that my wife tells me. You know where that would look better? Not here.
Yeah, right.
That's my studio. It's like, yeah, you know what? That would look better not here, your office, and so but I didn't think you'd be an interior designer. But it's kind of funny. I guess it kind of gives you an idea of the attention that gets paid to you when you're the Alabama head coach. There's the old digs right there. There he is talking to Strahan in his old spot.
And it's pretty sweet. You see all those pictures, and I know we were real careful to make sure we kept all the things intact as far as the furniture and make sure it's in a good, safe place, and the legacy that comes along with it in the office can continue to be there for everyone to know about. So
sure. Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Alabama football, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. How long did it take you to get used to hearing Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer, Coach?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is you want to make sure you're not the one slipping up. I believe I did actually slip up the first press conference I had. The other places you've been to, it's always in the back of your mind. And that's happened at different stops along the way. You got to be really careful. But it doesn't take long because, you're in front and center with a lot of people from the first day press conference and all the opportunities to speak, and of course, address some recruits, prospects, all the events that you're at.
Hey man, when I joined NFL Network in 2003, after 7 years on ESPN, I one of my first shows of NFL Total Access, I threw it a break saying this is Sports Center, like it just came right out of my mouth, and I just hit myself in the head. I totally get it. Just your identity somewhat changes, certainly when you take a new big job. As you have, what was the biggest adjustment for you in Alabama?
Well, I think the hardest part, I don't know if it's the biggest, but the hardest part was just the timing of everything and being really the middle of January, and a lot of the rosters are already in place, and us having a lot of great players in this program that were highly recruited out of high school in particular. That was the most probably intense piece, was that latter part of January, just retaining everyone here and then building the staff. So I think that was probably, probably the hardest part that we've had. Now, obviously, now we're in the season,
right.
Getting into the SEC schedule, it's a different type of hard that you're getting into.
Right, and we're certainly you're getting into the SEC schedule with a big one, and we'll get to that in a second. What were your initial conversations with Jaylen Milroe about, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little bit of a fly-on-the-wall treatment here?
I think first it was just recognition of him. I mean, he's the guy that just jumps out at you because of his personality, the big smile. I remember walking into the team room the first night I met the team, and he's right up there, in front of you. You can't help but notice him. And I just think that as we went through the next couple of weeks, different conversations, him wanting to know more about what the offense could look like with him. And I just noticed how quickly he was all in, that this is a place he believed in. This is a place that he wanted to help, take the next step, that there was unfinished business in his mind based on what happened at the end of last year. He was critical in helping the rest of the guys also buy in. And so, there's a few more that were really instrumental, I think, in that first couple of weeks. He was definitely one of them.
Now, I'm going to take a shot here. I don't know the answer to this question. Normally, I only ask questions that I think I know the answer to. They're two different quarterbacks, but did you connect him with Michael Penix, Coach?
Not right away. There was an opportunity here later in the summer,
right,
where they got connected real briefly, but just really, really cool. I think I know from Jalen's standpoint, there's a great respect. He watches all the cut ups. You're kind of forced to do that when it's the system that's getting brought in.
Sure.
He's just really taking that all in stride. He looks to learn from everyone, and so I know he's learning from the things that have been done the last couple of years in our system. There's even, clips that were taken from previous years as well. So Jalen soaks it all in. I know he's an observer of everyone that plays his position, that's leaders of football teams. And so it's really cool seeing him embrace that.
And then what about you at the community? I mean, clearly you're not just replacing anybody, and I know you want to turn the page. It's your own program and it's your own world, but how do you step into Tuscaloosa, the manner in which you did, and replacing the guy that you are right now?
Well, it's not hard because you're getting requested in a lot of different ways. It's not just in the community here, really, it's across the entire state. Mm-hmm. And it's been awesome from really the first few weeks where we're, you're getting out, but then, throughout the spring, whether it's people coming here and events that we have hosted on campus, or you going off campus and, here in Tuscaloosa or around the state, so many great opportunities to go meet people, embrace everyone that loves this program, that loves, everything around this university. So it's been, somewhat easy to embrace that because there are so many opportunities and so many great people.
And then last one about Saban. How much is he around the program? How much contact do you have with him?
Yeah, he's just down the road. He has an office in the stadium, and I know he loves this place. He's there for whatever questions, whatever advice he can give. I know he's probably counseling a lot of others too, just along the way, not just those that are tied to football. He helped build this place to what it is today, and you just don't want. And I don't want to put words in his mouth. You just don't want the things that you've worked hard to establish at a place to just dissipate and drift off into space. And so we work hard every day to carry on the legacy of all the greats that have been here in this program, players, coaches, and he's obviously, a big part of that as well.
So then what would you describe your stamp, the Kalen DeBoer stamp on Alabama football? What do you want it to be? How would you describe that?
Yeah, I think right now it's just about day to day, pouring everything you have program, trying to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And I think what happens is you just stack days, and at some point we'll look back, and I think there will be maybe some things that, you look at as, hey, this was the stamp and this is the fingerprints of what we've done. But right now it's just so in the moment. We're focused on, the next day and, of course, the next game here as we're in the season. So I don't get caught up in too much of trying to, make it look like this, that. You're just trying to do what's best for these players and trying to help facilitate environment for the staff to be successful.
And obviously it's a pretty big game coming up next. What's the challenge Georgia represents?
Yeah, sure. SEC opener for us. They've already played one game. A hard-fought game with Kentucky, but for us, it's getting off on the right foot here with the SEC schedule, and certainly nothing but great respect for Coach Smart and Georgia's program. We know the success they've had over the years, and that this matchup has always been one that means a lot for both programs. Last year, the conference championship, and so. It's a big game in that way, and what you want to do is take care of business to where the next game is the most important game. And right now, front and center for us, we know we need to continue to improve, work on us. That's really what you can control, and that's where we're at here during this bye week.
What would you counsel the fan base that saw they had a near miss against Kentucky and say, okay, this should be our game? What do you say to those folks, Coach?
Well, I think every time you go on the road, and that's any conference, but especially in the SEC, and the familiarity, I think probably that exists with coaching staffs there, with some consistency on both ends. The more you know each other, the harder it is to win those games. And finding a way to win is what it's all about. It doesn't matter if it looks pretty, if it's not done the way that people think it should have been done. Finding a way to win is what it's all about. And we know that in this game you're going to get the opponent's best effort every week, but especially against Georgia here coming up.
A few minutes left with Kalen DeBoer, the head coach of Alabama football, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. I spend a lot of time, as you know, in the National Football League universe. Were you surprised the Atlanta Falcons chose Michael Penix when they did on draft night, Coach?
I wasn't surprised that he went that early. I just felt like as it was getting closer to the day of the draft, that more and more teams were felt like there was more questions being asked, just more follow-up. It just seemed like there was enough information where I felt like it was going to be an earlier first rounder maybe than what it felt like, a few months, which I still thought it was going to be a first round draft for Michael. But, the Falcons, I know, were investing a lot of time, it felt, in those latter weeks. And so it honestly doesn't surprise me that they did choose him, and I'm not even talking about the circumstances of having another quarterback and things like that. It just seemed like there was a lot of momentum going that direction for him with multiple teams, but especially the Falcons.
And if you don't mind, what about Penix do you think can describe how he's best equipped to wait? I mean, he's a guy that seems to be pro ready right now, quite frankly, and he's going to have to wait. And how do you think he's handling this, or how he's equipped to deal with that, for the lack of a better phrase?
Well, two parts to that. I think as far as how he'll handle it, I think he'll make sure he's ready. He'll be doing everything he can to make sure he's ready. And I don't think he'll look at it as waiting. He'll just be ready when his number's called. I think the other piece is why is he successful? Why will he be successful? He's just been through. He's been through everything. He really has. He's done it at multiple places. He's had the history of going through the adversity. Whatever comes his way, he's mature enough. He's focused enough. He wouldn't be where he's at if it wasn't for that. If that wasn't the case, and so he'll be ready when his number's called, and I know he's working hard every day to be ready for that moment.
And last one, I know you've got a lot going on. Obviously, you got Georgia. You've been getting everything ready for yourself, but Ryan Grubb in Seattle right now. Again, I know you've known him a long time, right? Do you guys go back to like Sioux Falls? Is that how long you guys go back?
The first year we coached together was 2007. So, and then there's really only a couple of years in there where we weren't together. One was when I went to Indiana,
right,
and at Fresno State, and then a couple of years when I went to Southern Illinois. But he's, it's really cool seeing him have the success here early, and following, of course, whenever you do have a second to see how things are going there. But it doesn't surprise me, and I know he'll be doing great things there, not just this season, but well beyond. And
he shaved, right? Did he get rid of that thing? He got rid of that. He got rid of that whole thing. What happened?
I haven't seen him. I guess a couple text messages here and there. So maybe he has.
He has. I just don't know. Again, I know I don't know how closely you're following it, but the Seahawks are 2-0, and he's dialing it up for Geno. Certainly when it matters the most. And again, I don't know how much clearly you have any much contact with him, but it must be pretty neat for you to see that.
Oh yeah, we're in contact with each other and rooting for each other. Before each game and after every game, congratulation texts and things like that. So fired up for the success of him, and again, doesn't surprise me.
Coach, thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. Certainly for a big week against Georgia. So let's keep in touch, and I appreciate you zooming in here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. That's Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Alabama football, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.